Welcome to the SkyDox Document Lifecycle presentation. Now, you may think that creating, collaborating on, and managing a document throughout its lifecycle is pretty simple. Simple as creating a file or document and sharing it with a colleague or client. Now, while it may seem straightforward, the reality is actually far more complex. The truth is, from creation to delivery, your document will go through many stages and iterations involving different people, applications, and tools. These stages are create, store, find, share, and deliver, which, when combined, form what's called the document lifecycle. As you can see, it's a lot more complex than you might have initially expected. It's important to understand the document lifecycle in order to know how employees can improve their collaborative efficiencies. In this presentation, we will highlight the 5 stages of the document lifecycle, explaining the processes and people involved, the issues faced, and the tools used at each step of the way. We'll start with Stage 1, Create. Now, this involves everything required for creating and recreating content. For example, you might use productivity applications like the Adobe Suite or Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or Excel. Creating a document can involve coordinating inputs with the rest of the team, which requires real-time communication between contributors. Specific issues include working simultaneously in content, managing input from contributors, opening and working with multiple file types, multiple versions, and finally, accepting, rejecting, or merging changes. Content creators, editors, and reviewers are all involved. For example, copywriters, design agencies, marketing teams, and legal teams. Collaboration tools that integrate with productivity applications are required, since there can be many contributors all trying to work out of the document's native application, and many file types available, like those from the Adobe and Microsoft suites. The next stage is Store. Now, this involves choosing the right types of storage so that documents are always accessible. When storing documents, you need to make sure that the platform gives you the ability to upload and download files as required. It's also important to make sure that your data is backed up across multiple data centers. Finally, syncing your desktop and mobile devices with your data store provides fast local access and removes dependency on the central collection. Security is one of the highest priorities with most users. However, users storing or accessing documents should not be overwhelmed when trying to manage permission and policies. Data protection, like encryption, in transit and in the cloud, should be standard. Again, content creators, editors, and reviewers are all involved. For example, copywriters and marketing teams. In order to store content, users will need data centers and cloud storage platforms which allow easy access and sharing in a secure and controlled environment. The next stage is Find. Finding a document is an important step in the document's lifecycle. Content retains its value for longer than you might think. Even if some of the data is out of date, files can be used as a source of inspiration for new employees or distributed teams working on a similar problem. More importantly, knowing where to locate existing files can prevent teams from recreating content unnecessarily, which saves time and resources. Issues with finding a file can include search functions that are unintuitive and difficult to use, and having too many versions of the same file. This can cause issues when trying to find the most current version. Users should be able to locate content by searching for a specific date, author, or subject. Keyword search like this means that content must be automatically indexed with metadata tags. Every individual is involved in the finding stage of the document lifecycle, whether a team is made up of 2 contributors or 20. Examples include content creators, editors, and reviewers. To find a document, you'll need the search tools themselves and, of course, the platform where they're stored. The next stage is Share. Once files have been stored, they can be shared so that other contributors can collaborate on them. Inviting colleagues is the first step. The sharing process also includes getting feedback, making comments, and having documents approved. Issues that arise from file sharing include correctly assigning co-authors, reviewers, and approvers to their relative tasks, and ensuring that feedback is clear. It's also important to make sure that file or folder permissions can be set, which determines whether contributors can download the file in its original format for easy modification, or download a view-only copy for reviewing and commenting. Security, as always, is an issue, making it necessary to ensure that tools comply with your company's internal policies. The people involved are those who want to share beyond the firewall. They can include the content creators and management, as well as the organization's legal team. Tools for sharing content allow communication between authors and contributors. They take the form of email notifications and presence indicators to track who has accessed what and when. The final stage is deliver. This stage typically appears at the end of the entire life cycle or at the end of an iteration of the life cycle. In fact, sometimes this stage is not included at all. Delivering a file is when the recipients are outside of the team of contributors and they require a way to access the file through channels over and above the collaborative platform they use to create the documents. Think of publishing content. Recipients will be viewing the file in order to provide feedback and give approval, but they won't be making changes to the document itself. Issues include trying to deliver a file that is too big, or a file format that is not recognized, or ensuring that recipients can access the file easily. Internal and external teams are involved, including management, clients, and external agencies or partners. Content creators may be involved as well because they might be making changes to the document based on feedback. Social media channels and e-marketing tools are needed to push the document via direct URL linking. And that's the document lifecycle. It's now clear that the reality of creating and managing documents is more complex than you might first imagine. Cloud collaboration platforms like ours can benefit every stage of the lifecycle by improving productivity and innovation, as well as driving efficiency and saving time. That's it from us. Thanks for watching the presentation. You can check out our website for more information.